Hello, this is Carla, and I just thought I'm doing a little yoga here on my floor. Not a long practice, just a couple poses, and I thought I would share because I talk a lot about self-care in the moment to moment and breath to breath. And if yoga or whatever form of movement is part of your practice, you don't have to have the full hour. You can get little hits of it all throughout the day. And I use yoga as a tool to get in my body. Anytime I feel like my head is like spinning and getting really busy, okay, bring the awareness back into the body, because when we bring that awareness back into the body, we can be present. When we're not, there's usually some sort of reaction or resistance to something that's going on. There's something that we're not really allowing. We likely have a judgment about it being right or wrong, or we should feel it or we shouldn't feel it. And so we keep this distance, we keep this separation. And so using your breath, using a yoga pose, and using some questions can bring you back into the body, back into this moment in a pretty quick way. And then you get to choose after, like, what's happening. Usually space gets created. All right, so what I'm gonna do actually, and I'm gonna add, I love just lately I've been tapping a lot, and tapping is something right here on the thymus that I used, not EFT tapping, if you know that, you can, but this is just, I've used this forever in yoga classes, just tapping on the thymus gland right here. Sometimes I can just feel it's like calming me down, right? Sometimes I may even rub the back of my head. I love, I'm an Access Bars facilitator, as some of you might know, and that is 32 points in the head, but also the Marma therapy from Ayurveda. There's so many different therapies that have these touch points on the head, and just rub your head. It feels great. All right, I'm going to use a pillow and move into this yoga pose. It's a simple butterfly, and it can just invoke the sense of allowing. I'm sitting on the edge of a pillow basically because it helps me lift my spine up on days that I may feel a little tension in the hips or the hamstrings. I have an extra vertebra in my back, which is why I love yoga. It provides so much release. And the outer soles of the feet come together. You get to decide if those feet are further away. You might feel it more in the outer thighs if you bring them together. You feel it more in the inner thighs. You feel a lot of tension in the knees. You can always put blocks or pillows or rolled blankets or towels right underneath your knees. Just putting it right under here, okay? And then root down into the earth and feel yourself. I like to wiggle it just a little bit and connect. Get long. Breathe out. Root down, rise up. Keep the extension moving out through the head. And then you get to begin to hinge forward. And maybe, you know, if you just want some support, you can put your hands back here. If that's not required, just see what it's like. A little bit of playfulness. You get to move, rock, slowly release. Again, I like to keep the length going out through the crown of the head first, and then if you want to round, you can. If you have a lot of low back issues going on, which I tend to see a lot when we are carrying stress, okay, I get a lot of women who are carrying a lot of low back pain. We can experience the low back aches when we're really not connecting soul and body, soul and actions, like the congruency of what our values are and what we know is possible in life with our actions. Then a lot of times we can experience this low back pain. And there can be other reasons too, but I see this often, and I can see it shift in my own body and with clients in one-on-one sessions and even classes very quickly. All right, so root down, rise up. If you have any of that low back issue, you just may want to keep the spine long and support it, at least in the beginning, until you really have a sense of how this is, right? And then breathe and soften. If you go forward into the forward fold, just allow yourself to go wherever it's comfortable to go. With each exhalation, see if you can soften even more. And keep resting. I'm going to turn my head toward you just because I don't have a different sound today. Ask some questions. If you're feeling deep sensations, what is this? If you felt like things are a little wonky, contracted in your life, if I were really being me, what would I choose? And what if it's okay to let everything be just as it is? It's when we're in resistance and not willing to allow that there is judgment there. And when there's judgment there, it's impossible to move into gratitude. Like when we're looking to create a gratitude practice, like the fake it till you make it, I used to think that would work. And I would say that sometimes it did, but what I found even more is when I could just really find the things that I was grateful for, like even like, wow, this sensation, thank you, like what are you telling me? What are you telling me? What is the gift in this? And I know that those questions can create a little ping sometimes, but they're powerful because what we resist just keeps persisting. So I invite you to come to that space of allowance, that space of relaxation, of softening, of just letting everything be as it is. In that, if there's anything to release, forgive. Anywhere you're making yourself wrong or think that something needs to be fixed, that's always false. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing that needs fixing. It's that you have a sense that it could be better. You have a sense that something more is possible. It cannot come from the space of resistance, so just allow more. Maybe take 3 more breaths. And when you're ready, just slowly press the hands into the earth or the feet and start walking those hands back in, bringing the body back up. Support the knees as you bring them up. If you have the sense that you want to extend and stretch out, go ahead. Just release, extend, lift the heart up to the sky. Welcome in all the new possibilities. You can be that question, what else is possible? And sometimes I just like to give a little twist. It's my way of just releasing. Yeah. So from the space of openness and from the space, there is more possible. What you resist persists. Open up. A few words from John O'Donohue to come home to yourself, because every time we do this, every time we allow, every time we breathe, and this one was maybe 7 minutes, but you get to do it in, 1 or 2. May all that is unforgiven in you be released. May your fears yield their deepest tranquilities, and may all that is unlived in you blossom into a future graced with love. May you be graced with ease, joy, love, confidence, and all other things that you know are possible. And soften, root down, rise up, be you. Go out into the world knowing the gift that you are. Thanks for being here.